Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. And you can watch this program on our Facebook page live and also on our YouTube channel on a delayed broadcast. That's Radyo Pilipinas World Service. And you can hear this broadcast on our audio streaming live on or via Evox PBS receiver app, and also on our shortwave broadcast through these shortwave frequencies on the English program. That's 15.640 megahertz, 17.750 megahertz, and 21.720 megahertz. And this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Let's begin Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
So the whole week of May 11th until the 13th or the 15th rather, we can say is absolutely chaotic and exciting at the same time because as we know, there is a situation happening in the at the Senate, particularly the arrest or possible arrest of Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, because between May 11th and May 13th, 2026, the Philippine Senate underwent a dramatic leadership change, and because of that, the former senator or Senate President Tito Soto has been replaced with Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, and that's amid the impeachment case or the looming impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte and attempts to serve an ICC or the International Criminal Court warrant against Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa. And before a surprise coup to oust Senator Tito Soto from the Senate presidency, which turned successful, Senator de la Rosa appeared at the Senate on a surprise note after months of absence to support the leadership change. And the Senate was under tight security at the same time, following attempts by the NBI to serve a warrant on Senator de la Rosa, who was said to be under the protective custody, quote and unquote, of the Senate. And because of that, a new minority bloc, because there was a leadership change or confirmed leadership change that elected Senator Alan Peter Cayetano as being Senate President, a new minority bloc was formed, and they filed a resolution urging de la Rosa to surrender and question the Senate's authority to provide protective custody against an international warrant, and that's coming from the ICC. And on Wednesday night, May 13th, shots were fired inside the building, and reports say that Senate security team and alleged elements of the National Bureau of Investigation were involved with the exchange of fire. And recently, the Senate leadership confirms that Senator de la Rosa is not present, is out of the Senate, meaning Senator Ronald de la Rosa is at large. And the embattled senator is now seeking custody from the Philippine National Police as his team awaits the ruling coming from the Supreme Court, and they prayed for a favorable decision. And despite the chaos at the Senate on the arrest of Senator de la Rosa, senators said that the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte will proceed under the context of forthwith. And senators will convene as an impeachment trial that's either on Monday, May 18th, or as soon as possible. But we will focus only or solely on the case of Senator Ronald de la Rosa, because there are a lot of actions and insights regarding that, and what can we learn, or what legal discussions that we're going to discuss, that we're going to learn here. So to talk about more of that, we now joined on the line via Zoom the senior research fellow from Ateneo Policy Center of the Ateneo de Manila University, none other than Attorney Michael Yosinko. Good morning, Attorney Yosinko. Thank you so much for joining us in the program, Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good morning. Good morning, Jerome, and thank you for having me. And a pleasant morning as well to all your listeners and viewers.
Okay, thank you so much, and it's a pleasure that you've accepted the invitation to partake in this program. But we'd like to start this discussion here because the Senate provided protective custody to Senator Ronald De La Rosa for several days. My question is: does the constitutional immunity from arrest for offenses punishable by less than 6 years will apply to an international warrant for crimes against humanity?
No, absolutely not.
Why
The
is that?
parliamentary immunity, parliamentary immunity, as prescribed in the Constitution, is limited to offenses punished or punishable by less than 6 years,
Mm-mm.
right?
Yes.
If the offense is more than 6 years, as in this case, then parliamentary immunity does not apply. Therefore, the Senate has no authority at all to stop the arrest, whether it is issued by the ICC or by a local court. For as long as parliamentary immunity does not apply, then the Senate, or even the House of Representatives for that matter, won't have any authority at all to prevent the execution of such a warrant.
Okay. And that's regardless if the offense is punishable by less than 6 months or more than I'm sorry, by less than 6 years or more than 6 years. So the Senate has no authority to stop arrest. Is that correct, Attorney?
No, 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 no. So let's clarify.
Yeah. Okay.
So parliamentary immunity applies only for offenses punishable by less than 6 years. In that case, if there is a warrant for arrest, the Senate can stop it, right? Because the Constitution is very clear, granting lawmakers immunity if the offense we're talking about is less than 6 years. However, if the offense is more than 6 years, then parliamentary immunity does not apply. And therefore, the Senate or the House of Representatives, for that matter, won't have any authority to prevent such the execution of such a warrant.
Okay. And also, that's understood, Attorney Yosinko. Now, the senators has left a premise, we're talking about Senator De La Rosa has left the Senate building to avoid any problems regarding his arrest or possible arrest at the ICC, because he wants to, we saw the first time that Senator De La Rosa is being chased away, or is has been chased by agents of the National Bureau of Investigation, and at the same time, right here, Senate Minority Bloc in a joint letter urged Senator De La Rosa to surrender to authorities. So, does the Senate still have an obligation to facilitate his surrender, or is their responsibility officially over? Although Senator De La Rosa is not in the Senate anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. The fact that Senator De La Rosa is now, I mean, technically a fugitive from justice and is no longer holed up in the Senate. There really is no role now. I mean, there's no incumbency on the senators to intervene and facilitate his surrender,
Mm-mm.
right? That was present when he was there. When he was there in the Senate, hiding from or evading his arrest, then
Yes.
the senators were did had a responsibility to facilitate his surrender. But now that he is no longer there,
Mm-mm.
he is now at large, as you said earlier, then
Yes.
the Senate no longer has any obligation to facilitate his surrender.
Okay. And by law, if a criminal runs away and if someone keeps the criminal, there will be a liability on that. Does this apply it here also, Attorney Yosinko?
Yes, for those people who facilitated or helped in the evasion from arrest
Mm-hmm.
by the person being arrested, they can be held liable for obstruction of justice.
Mm-hmm.
So, in this particular instance, the senators who helped
Mm-hmm.
Senator Bato escape from the
Mm-hmm.
Senate premises, uh, and also the Senate officials and Senate employees who participated in that escape
Mm-hmm.
can be charged with obstruction of justice.
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because I am not certain what the penalty is for obstruction of justice.
Mm-hmm.
If, of course, the penalty is more than 6 years, then the senators cannot be charged because they would enjoy
Oh
parliamentary
yeah.
immunity. If it is punishable by less than 6 years, I mean.
Yeah.
But if it is punishable by more than 6 years, then they can be held liable for obstruction of justice.
Okay. And also, I just read this morning, Attorney Yosinko, that the acting Senate Sergeant at Arms, retired Police Major General Mao Aplascas, said that Senate has no legal basis to detain Senator De La Rosa. What's your reaction on that?
Yes, he's absolutely right. Right. As I said, the Senate has no authority to stop the execution of his warrant or his arrest warrant. And consequently, they also have no authority to quote unquote hold him in protective custody.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Senator Bato was in the Senate evading his arrest, that's already highly irregular at the very least, but in my view, that's already unlawful.
Okay, very unlawful, and they are liable on that. Okay, that's established. And also, the senator has a we're talking about Senator De La Rosa has appealed to his fellow men in uniform to protect him. And I think there was a video of that circulating across social media and also on traditional media platforms. And legally speaking, if the Philippine government, via the NBI or the National Bureau of Investigation, attempts to serve an ICC related warrant is blocked by other state forces, so what sort of things or that are we looking at, or is this some kind of a constitutional crisis that we're heading into, or is it a breakdown of the chain of command? Bec- yeah, go ahead.
Well, in the situation yesterday or 2 days ago, when the Senate blocked or prevented the execution of the warrant, that is unlawful. That is, I would say, something that can constitute a legal crisis, right? Because the Senate uh, went beyond their authority. Right? So that to me, I might describe that as a legal crisis, or to a certain extent, it can
Legal
um,
crisis, okay.
it can also lead to a much bigger constitutional crisis, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, if the police themselves or the law enforcement agencies themselves refuse to serve the warrant
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, then that, I would say, is a break in the chain of command, because President Marcos has already declared that our government will cooperate with the service of the warrant,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
He
That's right.
has said that we are obligated to cooperate with Interpol
Mm-hmm.
in the service of that warrant. So if law enforcement or uniformed personnel involved in this case refuse to serve the warrant for, for whatever reason, then that is more appropriately described would be described as a break in the chain of command.
Mm-hmm. I see. But there's some arguments rather regarding this particular case of Senator De La Rosa, because the warrant came from an international tribunal. Um, I would like to ask this question, Attorney Yosinko. Is a warrant coming from the ICC, which is the International Criminal Court, an international tribunal? They've released an arrest warrant. Is it enforceable here in the country?
Yes, it is.
Mm-mm.
At the very least, it enjoys a presumption of regularity, right? So if you want to question the legality of such a warrant, then the proper action is to question it before a court, which
Mm-mm.
Senator Bato has done, right? There
Mm-mm.
is a pending petition in the Supreme Court,
Yes,
and
that's right.
if I'm correct,
Yes,
the
yes,
Supreme Court has already ordered the litigants to file their respective comments.
yes.
So that is the proper action.
Mm-mm.
Now, of course, politically, you can also raise questions about it,
Mm-mm.
right? If you want to question the wisdom behind allowing uh, a foreign tribunal
Mm-mm.
or an international tribunal
Mm-mm.
to you know exercise jurisdiction over our citizens, then you can do so.
Yeah.
You can do so
Mm-mm.
in the halls of the Congress and question it,
Yes.
or in town halls or in classrooms. Obviously, you can do that, but legally, the arrest warrant can be served here,
Mm-hmm.
most especially when our government has already said that they will cooperate with
The
Interpol in
Interpol.
doing
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay, but the highest court, which is the Supreme Court, was not able to release a decision of the petition coming from the defense team, or the legal team rather, of Senator De La Rosa. The SC was not able to release a decision in due time, and nonetheless, what is the likelihood of the SC issuing a temporary restraining order against an international body?
That's still possible, Jerome. Uh, in this particular instance, the Supreme Court did not issue a TRO or an injunction.
Mm-mm.
Only the Supreme Court can explain why they didn't do that, right?
Mm-mm.
But as the spokesperson of the Supreme Court said, the court can still do that while they're waiting for the parties to file their respective pleadings. So that
Mm.
can still happen if the Supreme Court
Mm.
so decides.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. But what will be the next, in your point of view, what do you think will be the next step, next legal step for Senator De La Rosa, since there's a pending petition at the Supreme Court?
That's a good question, no? Actually, practically speaking, Senator Bato has only one legal recourse now, and that's to surrender.
Mm-mm.
So either wait for the Supreme Court to render a decision being a fugitive from
Yeah.
justice, or wait wait for the decision as a detained prisoner.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously, if the Supreme Court said that, if the Supreme Court says that the warrant can be executed, then he really has no choice but to surrender. Otherwise, he will have to be hunted down by law enforcers to execute that warrant.
Yeah, and also the camp of Senator De La Rosa, as well as the legal team of him, said or expresses that they will be exhausting all the legal options to at least, because they argued that they would not honor the arrest warrant, and they would need a decision coming from a local court.
Yeah. Hence their petition before the Supreme Court. No? So that's what I said. If you want to question it, the proper action is to go to court, which they've done, and that's where we're at now, waiting for the decision of the Supreme Court.
Mm-mm.
But the Supreme Court is the last step. So that is
That's the
the
last resort.
exhaustion.
Yes, that's
That is the
true.
exhaustion of all the remedies, the legal remedies. So once the Supreme Court has rendered the decision, of course, you can always file an MR, but I mean, ultimately, what the Supreme Court says will be the final say in this matter.
Okay. Okay, now let's proceed here on the shooting incident that happened inside the Senate building. And that's a firefight between the NBI and Senate security this week that happened Wednesday night. Can the Senate leadership be held accountable for the said standoff? What will be the legal charges of against these people?
You know what? That's a great question and something that I haven't thought about, right? But certainly,
It's the
just
first time
from
that the shooting happened
yeah,
inside the Senate building.
yeah.
It's
So that's right,
unprecedented.
right? So just thinking about that, clearly someone has to answer for it, right? Uh, Maybe the OSAA, the people in charge of the OSAA, they have to answer for what happened in this inside the halls of the Senate, and also probably also the other side, right? The other side of this incident, they also have something to answer for. So while currently I have no idea what kind of penalty or offense will can be charged against these people, but certainly you are correct. Something like that happening inside the Senate really means that the
Mhm.
people in charge uh, over the security and safety of the people inside the Senate, and the Senate as property of government, they
Yes.
have to answer for what happened yesterday
Mm.
or
Or
2 days ago.
yeah. Okay, and that both parties will should be answerable on that.
Yes,
Yeah.
certainly yes.
Yes. Okay. And also, since Senator De La Rosa, although he was present for a few days just to attend a leadership change that elected Senator Alan Peter Cayetano into the Senate presidency. And right now, as we heard, Senator De La Rosa is out of the Senate building. Is technically at large. He slipped out. He slipped out of the Senate by early Thursday morning, 2:30 a.m. and disappeared from public view. And we have. You mentioned earlier that the senator is now technically fugitive in justice. Correct? Is that correct, Attorney Yusinko?
Yes, that's the legal definition of a fugitive. Someone who is a subject of a warrant of arrest, who evades the execution of that arrest and continues to be or continues to evade
Mm-mm.
such an arrest warrant is considered as a fugitive from justice.
Okay. And how does that affect his standing as a sitting member of the Philippine Senate?
Well, it should affect it adversely, right? At the very least, he should be suspended because obviously he is a committing an offense, right?
Mm,
Evading justice,
mm-mm.
evading his warrant of arrest. So that should have some negative ramifications for his, at least in relation to his position as a senator. So at the very least, I would say maybe he should be suspended. At worst, he can be expelled because these are not light offenses, right?
Yes.
These are serious offenses, and that should have serious ramifications as well.
Okay. For example, Attorney Yusinko, if a senator filed an ethics complaint against Senator De La Rosa, that's because no, first he is not present throughout the or in 6 months he's not present. I think November last year he started to disappear from public view, and now he just appeared. And also at the same time, in a few days, he was out of sight again. And at the same time, he has a pending arrest warrant coming from the ICC. So would the Senate Ethics Committee would accept it, or would the ethics complaint will be successful if a senator files it?
I hope so. Uh, I hope the Senate committee considers it and not just set it aside for the sake of protecting one of your own. And by the way, it's not just the Senate or other senators who can file that complaint. Regular citizens can do so, right? Because a senator is a duly elected public official
True.
and has a national constituency. So
Mm.
anyone can go to the Senate, file a ethics complaint, and hopefully the ethics committee will take that seriously and consider it instead of just ignoring it or just hiding it behind legalities and technicalities
Mm-mm.
for the sake of protecting one of their own.
And right now, the Senate is now composed of a new majority, which headed by Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano. Okay, so one last point, Attorney Yosinko, before I let you go. With former President Duterte already in The Hague, the trial or the full-blown trial at the ICC will begin soon. How does the legal strategy for De La Rosa will be different? Is this a domino effect that could lead to more warrants for other high-ranking officials from the previous administration? And also I heard that Senator Bongo is on the on
Yeah,
is next on the list.
yeah. It really looks like that's how it's going to be, right? Because the Marcos administration seems to have adopted that kind of position, right? That they're going to allow the ICC to pursue these cases.
Mm-mm.
So the legal strategies of those who are left behind is very limited,
Mm-mm.
right? Unless, of course, the Marcos administration decides that they should be prosecuted in our own courts,
Mm-mm.
but that's going to be inconsistent with their stand as far as the former president is concerned, right? Because, as you
Mm-mm.
said, former President Duterte is already at the Hague. So you're probably correct that this is
Mm-mm.
going to be like a domino effect.
Mm-mm. Because
Those who are in the list of uh, being respondents in that ICC case then they will probably also be arrested and be brought to the Hague, just like former President Duterte.
And the one thing I observe, Attorney Yusinko, is former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV is spearheading this kind of scenario. I remember Senator De La Rosa invited former senator to arrest him. And then he took the former Senator Trillanes took the challenge, and they will. I don't think Senator De La Rosa took it lightly. So, yeah. And we will be watching these developments as it unfolds, Attorney Yusinko. Anyway, what do you think will be the next thing or step for Senator De La Rosa? What he should do regarding this case at the ICC?
Well, basically, he has two options, right? To continue hiding and evading arrest while the Supreme Court case is pending, which is probably what he's going to do, or he can just surrender himself to a trusted government official with the assurance that they will wait for the Supreme Court decision. I think those are the two options that are available to him.
Okay, so we'll leave it there, and we will be watching closely this developments at the Senate, and also the particularly Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa. Okay, we leave it there, and with that, thank you so much for joining us in the program, Attorney Michael Yusinko, the Senior Research Fellow from Ateneo Policy Center of the Ateneo de Manila University.
Thank you very much.
All right, and Front and Center will be right back after these short messages. We'll be right back for the farewell remarks.
Itinuloy na po natin ang zero balance billing. Libre po. Ibig sabihin, ang serbisyo sa basic accommodation sa ating mga DOH na ospital, wala nang babayaran ang pasyente.
Ang dami pong challenge, hindi po namin alam kung saan namin kukunin, ganon, nag-iisip kung paano namin mababayaran. Siyempre po, masayang-masaya, super saya po dahil na zero billing po kami. Opo, malaking po talaga, malaking tulong po. Mabilis lang din po.
Bayad na ang bill ninyo. Uulitin ko, wala nang kailangan bayaran ng pasyente basta sa DOH Hospital dahil bayad na po ang bill ninyo.
Naiyak ako kasi sobrang saya. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Hindi kami nagkamali ng taong ihinalal.
Noon, pag may nagkasakit sa pamilya, agad may pangamba. Hindi lang dahil sa sakit, kung hindi dahil sa takot kung saan kukuha ng pampagamot.
Mahal ang gamot.
Nakita at naramdaman ito ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Kaya iniutos niyang ilapit pa ang tulong pangkalusugan sa bawat Pilipino. Sa PhilHealth, ipinagkatiwala ang pagtutok para maging tunay na serbisyo ang kautosang ito. Kaya nagtungo ang Pangulo sa General Santos City para masigurong umaabot sa mga tao ang mga programa.
Mr. President, pwede pa yakap.
Tulad ng yakap program para sa agaran at libreng check-up, screening, x-ray at lab tests. Mayroon ding programang gamot na nagbibigay ng hanggang 20,000 pesos na libreng maintenance medicines.
Ang yakap, by the mere word, yakapin para mailayo sa sakit. Kinabit na rin namin yung availability ng gamot at saka ng basic lab. We're hoping bumaba rin yung ating kailangan ma-hospital.
Ginagawa natin mga paraan, maagang nagpapatingin para hindi na uabot sa malubhang sakit.
May dagdag suporta sa dialysis para sa tuloy-tuloy na gamutan ng mga tulad ni Leo na 3 beses isang linggo ang dialysis. May tulong din sa cancer treatment ang mga tulad naman ni Maribeth para hindi maputol ang laban dahil lang sa gastos. Pinalawak din ang maternity coverage para sa normal delivery, cesarean, pati prenatal at postnatal care.
Ikalat natin yung balita para alam ng tao kapag may karamdaman sila, meron silang gustong patignan, yung anak nila, whatever, meron silang pupuntahan.
Sa buong bansa, tuloy-tuloy ang trabaho, isa-isang inaayos ang mga bagay na nagpapagaan sa buhay ng mga Pilipino. Ngayon may PhilHealth, may tulong. Hindi lang ito benepisyo, kung hindi ka panatagan para sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino.
Mas pinadali na ang government transactions sa tulong ng eGovPH Super App. Pwedeng-pwede mo nang magawa ang lahat ng ito. I-download ang eGov app sa iyong smartphone o tablet mula sa App Store o Google Play Store. Pagkatapos, ilagay ang iyong mobile number at i-authenticate gamit ang one-time PIN o OTP para marehistro ang iyong account. Saka ilagay ang iyong mga pangunahing impormasyon at kumpletuhin ang facial recognition technology para sa verifikasyon ng iyong pagkakakilanlan. Para sa mas mabilis at mas maayos na serbisyong panggobyerno, gamitin na ang eGovPH Super App.
And welcome back here in the program, Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo. And we're down to a few minutes of our program. This is my farewell remarks as I step down from hosting this program, Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. So I've hosted this program for the past or more than 2 years. And I've interviewed a lot of resource persons from the not just the national government, but also from the local government, and also discuss a lot of issues for the past 2 years. And also I've discussed a lot of or research rather of the topics and also discussions at hand. So it's a big honor for me to take this opportunity of being the host of the program Front and Center. And with that, I would like to express my gratitude to the management of Radyo Pilipinas World Service, spearheaded by our station manager, Mr. Ray Sampang. I am expressing my gratitude and giving me opportunity and for entrusting me the program into me. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and we hope that we will see each other again. Okay, and also to the production team and to the technical team as well. So I'm expressing my gratitude to all of you. So I'm very grateful, and with a great heart, I will be stepping down and leaving the program as host. So thank you so much for staying, and also to our viewers and listeners. Thank you also for listening and watching the program for the past 2 years. So I'm very grateful for all of you watching and listening in the program. So thank you so much, and that's it for me here in the program Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Again, I would like to thank the management of the station, Radyo Pilipinas World Service, headed by Mr. Ray Sampang, and to the staff of the station. Also, that's Miss Bea Gaza de Guzman, Erwin Peñano, Leo Magpayo, and Jay Arevalo. And also, I would like to thank the technical team behind this program, the none other than Mr. Milo Janela, also Miss Susan Aison, and also on our Warcast operations, I would like to thank Hiro Lucero and Justine Osias. And also, I forgot to mention Stephanie Vicente. I would like to personally thank you for assisting in the program as well. And she's become host of the program as well for Wednesday edition. So thank you so much, Miss Stephanie Vicente, for taking this program and taking the challenge of hosting this program. And there you have it. And I'm your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, we hope to see you again here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And have a good day and mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.